All right, so let's go back and talk about festivals for a second. I'm sure you watch a ton of films. Being the festival director, are there any common mistakes that you see filmmakers who submit these films to your festival make over and over again?
Yeah. So the most common ones are the most basic ones, right? As far as mistakes are concerned, and it's going to get you kicked out right off the top. So obviously bad acting. That's the number one. If you have actors that are not believable, and look, I get it. Not everybody is, going to have access to SAG quality, actors and stuff like that. And that's fine. You are where you are. But don't then expect that you're going to submit it to Sundance and they're going to accept it with atrocious acting. So you got to do the best you can as a filmmaker to get the best actors you can. And then I think you have to really study what it means to be a film festival or a filmmaker working with actors. Even if you're not an actor, you're going to have to get good at that because you're going to have to elicit emotions out of people. And a lot of the best directors, if you think about it, some of the best directors were actors. Why is that? Because they know how to deal with actors. They know how to get emotions out of actors. If you're just like yelling, action and cut, and then like, we need more pain there. Or, you know what I mean? You're like, we need you to cry more. It's like, oh, really? Why am I crying? So acting, that would be the one I would say is a big one. Also, get that script as tight as you can. Make sure and workshop that script before do table reads, workshop that script. Even if it's a 6-minute, 7-minute thing, get that script as good as it can, because if you're making it up on the set, if you're having, and don't get me wrong, if you want to, extemporize on the set, you want to kind of shoot from the hip a little bit and try to try some new things, great. But it should be on the page first, because a lot of times you don't have time. You're in a place, you're on a set, and you got a half a day to shoot, and then they need their space back or whatever it is. You better make sure you got the shots, and you better make sure that those shots are telling a story. So that's the other thing, is I would say make sure your story's good, workshop your script, get into it. We have a great screenwriting program at the California Film Foundation. Get into a good screenwriting program, and don't be scared to share your ideas with other people that are doing the same thing, because they're going to help you get better, and they're going to give you all these ideas for free. So get that script right. And then the last thing is, you got to have your technical right. If the technical is, like we were saying at the beginning, it's so easy now. The field is, the bar has been lowered so much in terms of how much the cost is, that there's no excuse to have bad technique as far as film, the actual the shots and the audio. So you got to make sure that you have good shots and good audio. And if there was one thing I would say more than anything that filmmakers forget about, it's the audio. Now, I have a degree in audio engineering, and that's when it really became clear to me how little time filmmakers spend on audio, and how that's the first thing that they're willing to skimp on, and it's also the first thing that'll kill you. So if I was going to give any advice out right now, that's kind of what I would say is make sure you got a good script, a very good script that's in some way unique. Make sure you got good actors, and get your tech right. Particularly make sure your audio is good. And then, if you don't like the way it's cutting together in the edit room, or you don't think it looks as good in the edit room, but you think that the shots are there, okay, great. You can always swap out editors, you know what I mean? You can always do that as long as you got your footage. Or if you don't think that you're good enough, maybe you're editing your own stuff, then you could get with somebody like a mentor that'll help you see what you're missing. But I would say those three things. You got to get the acting, you got to get the script, and you got to get your on-set tech right.